Welcome back wrestling WWE fans. Tonight, we dive into one of the most shocking and heartbreaking moments in recent WWE history, the night Jey Uso turned his back on Roman Reigns, fracturing the very foundation of the Bloodline. What seemed unshakable, a dynasty built on loyalty and family, has crumbled in front of our eyes. For years, the Bloodline has been the most dominant force in professional wrestling. Roman Reigns sat at the head of the table, demanding respect and loyalty, while Jey and Jimmy Uso stood by his side as enforcers, brothers, and protectors of the empire. But behind the scenes, tension was bubbling, and betrayal was only a matter of time. Fans watching live saw the shocking twist unfold, but those close to the situation say the pain runs deeper than just a scripted turn. This wasn't just a storyline breaking apart. It was family ties unraveling under the crushing weight of ego, pressure, and years of resentment. Please like, share and subscribe for more WWE content. Alright, we're halfway through, and things are about to take a serious turn. If you thought you knew where this was going, think again, this is where the real drama unfolds. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come. Jey Uso's face told the entire story. The conflict, the heartbreak, the rage, it was painted across his expression as he finally snapped. For the first time, he wasn't just Roman's soldier. He was a man taking a stand, even if it meant stabbing his cousin in the back. Insiders reveal that emotions backstage were raw. Roman Reigns, known for keeping his composure, reportedly sat in silence after the cameras stopped rolling. He didn't yell. He didn't demand answers. He just stared ahead, as though the betrayal had cut deeper than any spear or superkick ever could. This isn't the first time Roman has faced betrayal. Seth Rollins once tore apart the Shield, leaving Roman to pick up the pieces. But this betrayal was different. This was blood. This was family. And that's a wound that heals slowly, if it ever heals at all. Jey's decision didn't just shock the fans. It left the entire locker room buzzing with speculation. Some wrestlers believe Jey was tired of living in Roman's shadow, tired of being a pawn in the tribal chief's game. Others whisper that the emotional weight of the Bloodline story was becoming too real, too heavy to bear. Whispers of family breakdowns aren't new to wrestling. Behind the curtain, families have clashed for decades, torn apart by fame, money, and power. But in the case of the Bloodline, it feels even more tragic. This was supposed to be a celebration of Samoan heritage, of family dominance. Instead, it has become a tale of grief and betrayal. Close friends of Jey reveal he has struggled for years with the pressure of loyalty versus independence. He has always been seen as the right-hand man, the shadow to Roman's spotlight. But how long can a man live in the shadow before the darkness suffocates him? Backstage sources say there were heated conversations in recent weeks. Roman reportedly reminded Jey of everything the Bloodline had accomplished together. But Jey, drained and defiant, felt that Roman had crossed the line between leadership and manipulation. The moment of betrayal wasn't just a wrestling angle. It was the culmination of years of built-up emotion. The tears on Jey's face weren't scripted. They were real. Fans watching at home may not realize it, but those in the arena felt it in their bones. The crack in his voice, the shaking of his hands, the heartbreak of betraying his own blood. Roman's family legacy has always been his greatest strength and his greatest weakness. To see that legacy collapse from within, on live television, is something that will haunt him forever. The head of the table now sits alone. Other members of the Samoan dynasty have been pulled into this storm. Some reportedly feel torn between supporting Roman's leadership and defending Jey's right to break free. Family dinners, once filled with laughter, are now clouded by suspicion and anger. There's also the health aspect. Insiders reveal Roman has been under immense physical and emotional stress in recent months. His battles in the ring, combined with the weight of keeping the Bloodline together, may have pushed him to a breaking point. Could this betrayal be the moment that finally cracks the tribal chief's armor? For Jey, the decision was devastating, but perhaps liberating. He chose betrayal, but in his eyes, it was survival. The price he will pay, however, may be greater than he imagined. No matter how far he runs, the shadow of betraying family will follow him. The WWE locker room is said to be split. Some support Jey, admiring the courage it takes to break free from Roman's grip. Others condemn him, calling his betrayal unforgivable, a stain that will mark his career forever. And then there are the fans. Some cheered, some wept, some sat in stunned silence. WWE has always blurred the line between reality and story, but this moment cut too close to home. It felt less like a performance and more like a real family falling apart on live television. Roman's silence since the betrayal has been deafening. Those close to him say he is grieving, not just the loss of control but the loss of trust. For a man who built his empire on loyalty, seeing that loyalty shattered is perhaps the cruelest punishment of all. The betrayal also opens the door to scandal. Could this be the end of the Bloodline era? Could outside forces within WWE be exploiting the real cracks in this family for the sake of ratings and headlines? These questions hang heavy in the air. For Jey, there is no turning back. Once the trust is broken, once the betrayal is delivered, there is no way to piece together what once was. The bloodline is shattered, and the Usos' bond with Roman may never be the same again. Behind the curtain, veterans are warning younger talent about the dangers of mixing family with business. Wrestling has always been unforgiving, but when blood becomes part of the story, the wounds cut deeper, and they rarely heal. As the dust settles, one truth remains: this wasn't just another plot twist. This was a heartbreaking collapse of family, loyalty, and love. And whether scripted or not, the pain in Roman's eyes and the anguish in Jey's voice told a story more powerful than any championship match ever could. In the weeks to come, the fallout will be brutal. Friendships will be tested, alliances broken, and the legacy of the bloodline forever stained. But the scars left behind won't just belong to the characters, they will belong to the men themselves. This story reminds us that wrestling is not just about belts and victories. It's about family, betrayal, grief, and the very real emotions that tie us all together. The bloodline breaking apart is not just a wrestling angle, it is a tragic reflection of what happens when love and loyalty clash with pride and power. And as we watch Roman and Jey go their separate ways, perhaps the greatest tragedy of all is not the betrayal itself, but the love that was lost in the process. In wrestling and in life, loyalty is fragile, and once it is broken, it may never return. The bloodline may never be the same again, but its story will live on as a lesson in family, betrayal, and legacy. And in the end, no matter who stands tall, the world will remember this as the night the dynasty fell apart.